One Zambia, One Nation. You are watching the news on Zanis TV channel. My name is Henry Himonde. Let's now take a look at the top stories. President Hila says there is need to formalize welfare of vice presidents. Government delivers fertilizer to Mongu farmers. Government hands over 50 million kwacha to water and sanitation sector on the Copper Belt. And nutrition levels improve in Mongu District. The news in detail. President Hila says there is need to formalize how former vice presidents are taken care of, as well as channels to seek counsel from them by government. Mr. Hila said this when he visited former Vice President Guy Scott at his residence in Lusaka. The head of state notes that former vice presidents need to be formally taken care of by government, adding that running of the country requires their support. Meanwhile, wife to former Vice President Guy Scott, Charlotte, thanked President Hila for sparing time of his busy schedule to visit Dr. Scott.
So, in recognition of his vast experience, remember, he was a long-standing member of parliament. He was a member of parliament from Pika at some point.
1991 to 96
yes,
from Pika
member of parliament from Pika Central, member of parliament for Lusaka Central here. Baulen, we call him Amdaraku Baulen. So, and then vice president, acting president, so vast, deep experience. And we, for me as president and our government, as servants of the people, we have many issues that we would like to consult him and his colleagues on to better deliver the services for us to the people of Zambia. So this is really what it incorporates. So that's why we're here. It's something I thought through immediately I took office. I realized that there was a gap in the law. The former presidents are sort of structured how you consult them, if they are willing, and how they are looked after. But for the former vice president, there's nothing, completely nothing. They leave office, they're on their own, all that knowledge they have, unless you remember. So for me, I thought the burden of running the country requires more hands. We need to bring formality to it a little bit. And we checked our legal, provisions, and the president is basically in good legal standing to do what we've done. I know some people will be asking questions. Is this legal? The president has the leverage to do what he has done, and we're very pleased that the family is supportive and is willing to continue support. Not that we were not drawing advice from Guy and Charlotte. We were, but we just want to structure it.
We're very pleased to see the President. It was very, very much appreciated that he took time out of his schedule to come and visit us, to talk to my husband, and to share on a few issues and talk through the things he'd come to raise with him.
Government has delivered fertilizer to farmers who had not received their allocation for the 2021-2022 farming season under the Farmer Input Support Program in Mongu District. This comes after government's decision to contract other firms to deliver the inputs following failure by the initial contractor to deliver the commodity to beneficiaries in 2021. Nkweto Ngoshe reports that about 7,600 farmers are set to receive the inputs.
They are part of the 7,600 farmers in Mongu District who did not receive their full allocation of inputs under the 2021-2022 Farmer Input Support Program. And after a long wait, these farmers have now received their fertilizer. Mongu District Commissioner Muma Msonda has since flagged off the distribution exercise to the affected farmers.
In response to this, the New Dawn administration led by His Excellency Mr. Hila has taken decisive measures to support the affected farmers by procuring all the undelivered fertilizer. As of now, 80% of the fertilizer has been successfully delivered to the district. With the remaining shipment en route to Mongu, the district expresses deep gratitude for this commendable gesture, which will undoubtedly enhance the production levels of our farming communities.
Cornelius Zemba is the Senior Agriculture Officer for Mongu District.
So what they failed to deliver was 1,284.05 metric tons of D compound, as well as 308.95 metric tons of urea. The affected farmers that we had were about 7,608, and these were affected in various ways. These inputs are strictly for the farmers that did not get the full allocation.
And farmers have thanked government for the inputs, which they say will help expand their yields. Nkwetongoshe for Zanis in Mungwi.
Meanwhile, in Lampa District, the Department of Community Development has projected a good harvest with the successful implementation of the 2023-2024 Food Security Pack program. Lampa District Community Development Officer Raphael Malumo has attributed the success to the quick distribution of inputs. Details in this report.
The Food Security Pack initiative in Lampa District is making significant strides in enhancing food security and nutrition for vulnerable households. The government's efforts to support vulnerable but viable farmers through the early distribution of farming inputs under the Food Security Pack program has set the stage for a promising harvest projection this farming season.
On the crop performance and also especially the germination, we are also pleased that this year government managed to bring the inputs in on time, and this is why you are seeing that even the land preparation, the planting went so well. And just want to give kudos to government for the support given to our vulnerable but viable farmers.
The Ministry of Agriculture has praised the crop performance and commended the farmers for embracing crop diversification.
From the fields assessed so far, the germination has been quite good. Also the maize is at vegetative state. As you can see, the maize is doing very well. I think, the district has received quite fair amounts of rains to support optimal growth of the plants. We're just encouraging farmers to plant early, to practice good.
Farmers expressed gratitude to the government for the Food Security Pack program, which is expected to boost food security, promote self-sustainability, and alleviate poverty at household level. I am Jorge Himambo, reporting for Zanis in Lampa District, Western Province.
Still in agriculture news, a 23-year-old school leaver of Mongu District in Wapula Province has commended government for the agriculture empowerment programs provided to the youth. Abraham Musele, a beneficiary of the Food Security Pack program under the Department of Community Development, says the inputs and legumes given to him have impacted positively on his family's livelihood. Here are the details.
The sector is one of the major employers which can absorb many of the unemployed youth to become food secure and earn a living. In Mongu District, a 23-year-old school leaver, identified as vulnerable but viable under the Food Security Pack from the Department of Community Development, is one such who has ventured into farming as opposed to white-collar job. Abraham Msele praised government for encouraging young people to venture into farming. Wapura Province Food Security Pack Chairperson Godwin Chati explains the selection criteria.
Able but vulnerable, because what I've seen, they are able-bodied members of the community, so they can work. But the reason why they are in the program is because they're either looking after orphans, old people, or those wrongly abled persons. So the criteria is very good. Because if we gave elderly people the inputs, they cannot use them. So the beneficiary is able-bodied, but the condition is that they should be looking after vulnerable. Remember, the type of crops that we are given in terms of cereals were white maize, orange maize, and rice. So some farmers could either combine white maize with rice or white maize with orange maize. But in terms of legumes, they were given kablangeti, beans, ndereshi beans, soya beans, and groundnuts.
The Community Ward Committee Chairperson Emmanuel Mwape explains the repayment procedures.
Kalabwesha pa mataba mifuko ibidi ya mataba na kilemba wine bakalabwesha edonga chakwe bati bafirwa bene nishuku bafumya pofye tabakwete amano ya kuti bakabwesha lelo.
For Zanis, I'm Simeon Mbewe in Mongu District, Luapula Province.
Now, Permanent Secretary for Special Duties at Cabinet Office Chembo Mbula says government is ensuring that the water and sanitation system is improved amid the cholera epidemic in the country. Speaking in Ndola, Mr. Mbula has revealed that the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit DMMU has released over 50 million kwacha to the Nkana Water Supply and Sanitation Company, while about 17 million kwacha has gone to Kafubu Water Supply and Sanitation Company to improve the water and sanitation situation on the Copperbelt province. He has added that the intervention is expected to improve water and sanitation conditions as well as prevent the spread of cholera. Meanwhile, Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo has expressed happiness with the development, and Provincial Water Supply and Sanitation Officer Elijah Banda explained the utility firms are currently undertaking emergency works in Kitwe and Ndola districts. Kafubu Water and Sanitation Company Managing Director John Bewe indicated that the money received so far has been used for works in Ron constituency and areas covering Patamatu in Luansha.
Sometime last year, the President visited the Copperbelt and described the sanitation situation in the Nkana and in the Ndola to be a disaster. And given that the health situation at the time was at risk, we directed DMMU to fund these emergency works. And as earlier stated, the Nkana Water and Sanitation Company received 53 million, whereas Kafubu and Ndola received 17.6. The works are in progress.
These works which are basically deemed as emergency works were funded by the government of the Republic of Zambia to expedite water supply and sanitation interventions in Kabushi constituency of Kitwe, as well as Kabushi in Ndola.
The works have been completed, as it has been said. In terms of water, there are some areas in Kabushi called Kabushi, Mangwanya, Riverside, and Changanya. Yeah. So in Changanya, it's an area where there has been no water supply network, including sewer. It has not been there. So we did about 83 connections. These are individual taps at their households. We have metered them, and the water is flowing. At least now people have got access to clean and safe drinking water. Of course, because of the arrangements, you find that maybe one tap is able to service quite a number of people. So the people that are benefiting from those 83 connections are more than 83 houses, so to say.
Choma District has recorded an improvement in the nutrition levels of children under the age of 2 following the successful implementation of the Scaling Up Nutrition Program, SAN 2. Choma District Health Nutrition Coordinator Nkandu Katongo says the program has reached out to over 2,400 lactating mothers who are now able to feed their children with nutritious meals. Details in this report.
Stunted growth remains a healthy risk for children aged between 0 and 2 years. For lactating children in rural areas, the situation may even be worse, owing to poor sanitation. In Choma District, the nutrition status of most children under 2 is improving following the implementation of the Scaling Up Nutrition Program, SAN 2. Since its inception, over 1,000 nutrition support groups have been formed, reaching a total of 2,400 beneficiaries. Nkandu Katongo shares the notable nutrition achievements recorded in 2023.
We haven't had to record a lot of cases of, for example, severe acute malnutrition like we used to before. For 2023 data, the highest number of cases of severe acute malnutrition that we've been able to record has reduced greatly. The highest has been 9. And then in terms of a moderate acute malnutrition, we've also had a reduced number. The highest that we've recorded in a quarter for 2023 has been 20.
These scores are derived from a number of interventions.
There have been a lot of interventions that we've put in place. Some of these interventions have been issues to do with promotion of infant feeding practices among the children under 2. So we've done quite a lot in terms of training even community-based volunteers. These community-based volunteers, they are able to help in terms of counseling mothers on infant feeding practices, and also mothers counseled on how they can eat whilst they are pregnant and whilst they are lactating.
Lactating mothers visited in Skalonga and Muvula Ward shared the benefits of these nutritional interventions.
The information that is provided in this program is very helpful. It has benefited me in such a way that my child is no longer underweight now.
Nchimunyana Lumpa, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
A cooperative group based in Mponda village in Chinkuli ward of Chongo district has successfully set up a poultry business after accessing a loan worth 200,000 kwacha through the Constituency Development Fund CDF loan and grants allocation. Mponda Chickens Multi-Purpose Cooperative Group has purchased land and constructed 2 poultry houses and sunk a borehole to support its poultry business. More in this report.
Muponda Village Multipurpose Cooperative Group is among the cooperative groups in Chongwe District that has benefited from the loans and grants allocation of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The cooperative group successfully accessed a CDF loan worth 200,000 kwacha last year. Speaking to a team of officials from Chongwe Municipal Council and the District Commissioner's Office who visited the cooperative during a CDF monitoring exercise, Chairperson of the cooperative, Jalo Silubanje, says the loan has enabled the group to set up a poultry business and other income-generating ventures for its female members.
We got 200,000 kwacha, and from the 200,000 kwacha, we thought of doing some infrastructures first. So the remaining amount, we thought of brooding some broilers so that we have quick money, so that we build on. There's impact. People are buying chicken here, and it has even spreaded up to town people. They even phone us to get the chicken. As a cooperative, there's that impact. Always we are troubled with people now. They want chicken, and we are giving them chicken. To us, it's a business.
The cooperative secretary also encouraged other cooperative groups in the district to take advantage of CDF to grow their businesses.
We managed to have the sewing machine, which our women are able to sew uniform for our children and the jerseys for school. So it's impacting. And once they sell, they do the little thing with that money. it's really impacting into the community. Additional to that, those who are doubting that CDF is not working, let them come to Mponda Village Multipurpose Cooperative and see for themselves. This money is through CDF, this investment.
And Chongwe Mayor Christopher Habenzo called for financial literacy training of cooperatives in the area to enhance their capacity.
They are already empowered, but what they probably need is to upscale their business skills. Yes. They already have the enthusiasm, the energy and everything, but you cannot acquire the skills through mistakes. Yes. So I think if they can have, through NGOs or arranged by the council, align them to some training so that they can get the business, so they can grow the business. The club is big, it has got more than 200 members, meaning in this area, more than 200 people have been empowered with the business, which is profitable.
Sheila Makosa, reporting for Zanis in Chongwe District.
Traditional leaders in Eastern Province have commended government for officially flagging off the handover of farming inputs meant for agricultural activities for the 2023-2024 farming season. Eastern Province House of Chiefs Chairperson Chief Munukwa says the inputs will be used prudently with close supervision from the traditional leader in the province. More in this report.
Has officially flagged off the handover of farming inputs to 51 traditional leaders in Eastern Province. Eastern Province House of Chiefs Chairperson Chief Munukwa has commended President Hakainde Hichilema and his government for this gesture.
This handover ceremony of the inputs that were promised to us, it has come to fruition today. Agriculture is the mainstay of this province. It cannot be overemphasized. It is an activity that fuels the livelihoods of our people in the Eastern Province. Any initiatives that help to sustain or improve agriculture activity in the province is very much welcome. It is for this reason that the traditional leadership of the province supports FISIP and the recently introduced loan scheme aimed at helping in the improvement of maize production.
Provincial Minister Peter Perry says government acknowledges the role the traditional leadership is playing in ensuring food security in the province and the country as a whole.
The government of the Republic of Zambia recognizes the important role that traditional leaders play in guiding their subjects, in ensuring that they actively participate in farming activities, thereby enhancing national food and nutrition security. It is in this regard that government has responded to the request made by House of Chiefs, representatives for assistance with farming inputs. Government has since allocated an input pack to each Royal Highness comprising 1 by 25 kg maize seed, 4 by 50 kg bags basil dressing fertilizer, 4 by 50 kg top dressing fertilizer, 18,680 bottles of deltamethrin insecticide, 85 sprayers, 86 work suits, and 65 gumboots.
And the contracted suppliers are happy to work with government on this program.
I would like to thank the government for increasing the maize floor price from 180 to 280, which has led sales increment to us import supply.
It has happened, our partners such as Africa, as well as at the where we are able to handle that. You may be aware that United Capital Fertilizer is engaged to supply and distribute the 29,000 the 1.25 metric tons of fertilizer, which is combined. And apparently now, the government also gave us an addition of 10.6
tanks of which was also supplied. You can see here, handing over today and the handover has already been give the vote of thanks to United Capital Fertilizer Management for according us this chance to supply the fertilizer. Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
To Western Province now, where Provincial Minister Kapelwa Mbangweta has implored people in the province to abide by the health safety measures in order to reduce disease vulnerability. Mr. Mbangweta said this during the Zambia Demographic and Health Survey launch. Rogers Pyabipa now gives us more in this report.
The government is working hard to ensure control and elimination of diseases in Western Province. Western Province Minister Kapelwa Mbangweta reaffirms government commitment in the fight against diseases in the province.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Health, is committed to realizing the national health vision of a nation of a health productive people by providing equitable access to cost-effective quality health care services as close to the family as possible. Health information is one of the critical building blocks of a well-functioning and resilient health system. As such, government has been implementing the demographic and health surveys as one of the major sources of information required to measure progress in health sector performance.
Earlier, Mongu District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa has called for dedication to duties by health workers in the combating of burden diseases in the province.
The prevalence levels of HIV and AIDS, now we have this novel COVID-19, we have the perennial cholera epidemic. So such surveys are what provides government with such critical information, and it yields results in our national development plan, such as the 8th National Development Plan.
Meanwhile, Acting Western Province Health Director Lau Demwila says the ministry will continue working with communities in the execution of healthcare services in the province.
Some of the services that will be conducted in our communities include, but not limited to, accessing and recording issues of fertility, marriage, sexual activity, fertility preferences, family planning methods, breastfeeding practices, nutrition, childhood and maternal mortality.
Rogers Pyabipa reporting for Zanis in Mongu District of Western Province.
And finally, government has dispelled reports that there are plans to increase ground rates in order to generate more revenue. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Elijah Mchima says the circular that his ministry circulated is simply asking for suggestions and recommendations from members of the public on the review of the 1995 Land Act. Dr. Mchima has noted that government has been striving to ensure that the cost of living is lowered. And Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao has commended his counterpart for the consultative process to review the 1995 MAP Act. Mr. Mbao added that the consultative process is important, adding that it will help the administration of land.
I've seen what is happening, what is going on the social media, that Minister of Lands has decided to increase land rates in the intention to review the Act. I want to put it categorically that, fellow Zambians, let's be a bit slow to read the instructions. Even in an examination, you can fail an exam if you don't read the instructions carefully. They will say, answer one question, you answer everything. You would have failed an exam. It is important to read instructions. The letter circulated by my permanent secretary. It's simply calling citizens, simply calling citizens. I'll make it available to you to render their comments as we intend to review the 1995 Act. The Act was last reviewed in 1995. There are so many things that have happened. There are lacunas. There are a lot of issues which we need to be attended to. And President Hakainde has insisted. I repeat, if you don't like Hakainde Chilema, you don't like UPND, you don't like Muchimba, but let's be sober. Zambians, let's be sober. We're in this.
Your visit, I think we are going to have a lot of the pending issues that we've been fighting with as a province are going to end. And therefore we can just request, like the way you have come, Honorable Minister, we want to see you as often as possible so that we don't have issues building up. You are going to leave us with zero problems now as you go. And
on that note, we come to the end of the news, but before we go, let's take another look at the top stories. President Hakainde Hichilema says there is need to formalize welfare of former vice presidents. Government has delivered fertilizer to Mongu farmers who did not receive the inputs in 2021. Government funds over 50 million kwacha to water and sanitation system of the Copperbelt province. Plus, nutrition levels improve in Choma District. Thank you so much for watching the news. On behalf of the entire news production crew, my name is Henry Himondi. Until next time, it's goodbye.